In this video, we're going to be going over the pros and cons of the new T-Mobile Revvl 6 Pro 5G. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. We have the Revvl 6 Pro 5G right here. We're going to be going over the pros and cons on this device. And first and foremost, I've had this device for over 24 hours now, and I have to say, this device is really not that impressive. I don't really like carrier owned devices like this that are, made by some other people that got a contract or whatever with these type of devices, because they don't tend to have the most amazing stuff on them. Carrier devices are usually just the bottom of the barrel type of stuff, but this one it's passable. I don't think it's the greatest phone on earth. I don't think it's worth your time, honestly, for people that have a better phone than this. But if you guys need something cheap and you guys are getting a phone like this for free, this is definitely going to take care of you for the average consumer. But we're going to be going over the pros and cons right now, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with the first pro on this device, and that is going to be that this has a 5,000 milliamp battery, and this does have wireless charging inside of it. So I'm happy that that has that amount of battery inside of here. Obviously, that's paired with a 720p screen, so we're going to talk about that later. That's going to be a part of the cons, obviously, but we have a huge battery inside this device, and another pretty, I guess you would call it like a luxury feature, is wireless charging on this device. So yes, we do have wireless charging on here. So if you guys are a wireless charger out there, and if that was a make or break type of thing on another phone, this phone may be for you. Second pro we're going to be getting into is the storage and the RAM on this device. We have 128 gigabytes of internal storage on here, and for $220, I think that's definitely pretty decent, to be quite honest. And 6 gigabytes of RAM in here as well. Definitely think it's decent. We do have a Dimensity 700 processor in here. I don't think that's the most amazing processor, and we're going to get into some cons about it in a second, but it does score higher than the Snapdragon 730 and the Antutu benchmark. Reason why I was confused why they put the Dimensity 700 in here is because we just had, I believe, the Snapdragon 745 in the Revvl V Plus. So kind of weird. That body felt way better than this, and we're going to talk about that in a second as well. But yeah, let's get into the next pro. Next pro is, of course, we have NFC on this device, and I don't think a lot of people believe me that we did have NFC on this device. So obviously that's going to be used for contactless payments. So let's go to NFC right here. We do have NFC, so we can utilize this for things like Google Pay, and stuff like that. Make sure to go into the application. I'll probably check later if Google Pay works on this. I know they just threw out certain stuff like Google Pay and it doesn't work sometimes, but we do have NFC capability on this device to utilize whatever you guys utilize with NFC. Next thing, and I thought this one was actually pretty cool, but we do have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on this device, so it's great to see that. I've seen a lot of devices that don't have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and they have no business taking it out of the phone. Obviously, it's their company, they can do what they want, but they take a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack off of a device that's sub $300 or sub $250. It's like, that's the most tasteless thing you can do. You're being like, okay, you can't really afford a mid-range or a flagship phone, which is usually paired with those wireless earbuds. And guess what? We're going to take away the headphone jack as well. That's super, super tasteless that companies do that. That's some that I don't like. The next pro we have on here is it's pretty much a pure Android experience. I haven't had really any issues with this phone so far. As far as like going through the UI, going on YouTube, going through the web browser and all that type of stuff. This is a pretty vanilla stock Android experience. Also comes with Android 12 on this device. So great that we get Android 12 on here. I'm really hyped about that. Hoping that we get Android 13 on here for the people that actually purchase this device. That'd be cool, but that's on here. And last but not least, the last pro on this device has to be that we do have expandable storage up to 2 terabytes on this device. So we do have the option to actually go ahead and take that SIM tray out and pop some more storage inside of there if you guys, hold videos and photos and different type of stuff like that on here. So that's great that we have that. Now getting into the cons, we're going to get into the cons right now about the Revvl 6 Pro 5G. First and foremost, the body of this device feels cheap. You leave fingerprints on it, so you guys are definitely going to need a case if you don't like leaving fingerprints on your phone. But it feels cheap. Body looks ugly. The entirety of this. I do like the accent the pink accent, or the I don't know what color this is, whatever T-Mobile has right there. They have that little accent right there for the fingerprint sensor. I like that it is on the right side. That's about the only thing that I like about this body. I think the color looks okay, but other than that, it's definitely an iPhone mock-up or an iPhone copycat. And so many companies are doing that nowadays, and you know, T-Mobile was like, you know what, we're just gonna use this. As far as the video gaming on this device, obviously things like Temple Run and little stuff like that is gonna work. Call of Duty Mobile, however, is not working, which is my favorite game on the App Store. And I don't know if that's because this has the Dimensity 700 processor or because of the specs, but this has 6 gigs of RAM. The Dimensity 700, I can't get that or Genshin Impact to run on this phone, so that's a huge con. You guys definitely need to hit me up in the emails, T-Mobile, if you guys fix that. I would absolutely love that, but those games don't run on here, so very disappointed about that. Now, getting into the display on this device, this is going to be, I believe they said an IPS display. It really looks a little bit more like a TFT. It's not like too fadey when you turn it one way or the other. It's not super faded. You guys can still see it, but it looks more like a TFT display. Not to mention, this is 720p, when on the last Revvl V Plus, it had 1080p. I don't know what they did here. I don't know if they're going to blame this on the supply chain or any other thing like that, but 720p display, we have these fugly bezels around this phone. They are so ugly. This phone screen looks so ugly. I gotta say, the bezels on this display look horrid. And there's no charging brick inside the box. Again, I don't know why they do that with sub $350 phones or sub $500 phones. The people that are buying these phones, you need to be selective with the crowd you guys pick to do that type of stuff too, because a lot of the people that are getting these types of budget phones or these entry level phones are coming from flip phones. I don't know what's going on there, and that may or may not be a supply chain issue, but you know, I don't believe that it is, because I think even when everything is all good and we have enough supplies to bring charging bricks back, you guys won't do it. So we'll see in the future, and if we do, we'll make a video referring back to this one. So no charging bricks inside the phone as well. But other than that, if you guys need some sort of phone that's extremely cheap from T-Mobile or Metro by T-Mobile, this has some decent pros on it. Obviously, if you guys can withstand the cons that are on this device, I think you guys are gonna have an okay time with this phone, especially if you don't game. But if you game, I don't know. I guess it's a lost cause. But yeah, guys, hopefully this information helped you out. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.